Today we're going to be working on cornhole boards. I'm using 3 1x3s and a sheet of about 1/4 inch plywood. I had them ripped down at the home center to 4x4 sheets, just easier for transportation and handling. So we're going to cut down the 1x3s to 48 by 24 inch sections with a miter, and we're going to cut out a groove and inlay the top of the cornhole boards. On this board, I went ahead and labeled the first cut, the angle and inside. That way, as I go through and make my cuts, I can switch the sides of the board to get the best look. Keep some of these knots hidden as much as I can. I don't mind some knots, but I just want to hide where they're kind of knocked out there and grooved onto the inside. So by labeling the first cut on the inside, I'm going to be able to switch it back and forth. So I just use my speed square to go ahead and lay out the other 45-degree angle. You don't have to do this. You can just mark the 48 and then use your miter saw. I find that this just helps me stay accurate on the length. I can cut a little longer than that line and sneak up onto it if I have to. Especially with some of this store-bought wood, it has a tendency to warp or bow once you take a cut, and it releases the pressure. So I like to just mark it out, start a little long, and then sneak up on that line and get my exact 48 inches. At this point, I just did a quick dry fit of one of the frames just to check squareness and to check my measurements, make sure everything looked good. So I'm gonna go out now on my table saw and I'm gonna cut channels out to inlay the plywood. I just use my sliding square here to get the depth of the plywood so I can set my saw blade to make the inlay cuts. So I got the depth and width in cut out in my boards. Now I'm going to go back and make one more cut, clear out that extra piece, and sand down that channel, and that should give me the nice inlay for my boards. And then I'll rip the plywood down the sides, trying to keep these at the standard 48-24 regulation. So I got everything grooved out and just fitted up. Normally I would only do glue and brad nails to hold this and just let it sit and dry, but kind of on a time crunch. We have a tropical depression apparently sitting offshore or somewhere close, and I'm supposed to get a whole bunch of rain today. So I think I'm going to go ahead and throw in a pocket screw in each corner on top of the glue and brad nails. That way I can kind of move it and work on it a little quicker. It'll be tight while the glue sets up and it won't break apart when I move. So I got my boards glued up. I got some brad nails set in and some pocket hole screws just so I can go ahead and manipulate and move the board without everything coming apart. I measured inside across and inside to the length, and I just used my paper here that's covering my table to make my measurements. So I'll take that over to the table saw and rip a piece of plywood down to that. So I got my cuts finished up and everything's dry fitted in. I'm gonna go ahead and put some glue down and use brad nails to secure it. Then I'll cut the hole out, do my stain and legs, and we should be done here, hopefully fairly close. So now that I got everything glued and brad nailed down, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the hole for the bags. For this, you wanna go 9 inches from the top, 12 inches from the side, make your mark. The first sets I did, I used a jigsaw, but I found this hole saw on Amazon. I think it was $10. We'll see how it works.